This dysfunctional gaming podcast was filmed in front of a live Twitch audience.
Hello! Hello, wanderers and travelers. Welcome to Dysfunctional Gaming's Talking D&D. I am Thundercat0420. To my left over here is GM Patch Nasty. How are you today, dude?
I'm delicious. I am well. I'm eating the blizzard, and it's delicious.
It looks delicious. I'm ordering one right now as we speak.
Not an ad.
No, not a sponsor.
But it could be.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. What did we do last week?
You're asking why? Well, I feel like we're at a table right now.
Right?
Last week we talked with Griff.
Yeah.
We talked about adventuring.
Did.
Right?
Griff was a great guest, a good friend, and we're always happy to have him.
Mm-hmm.
He was also a NPC in one of our games that you ran.
He was. Hi, Fuzz. I'm
Rob.
wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I have a blizzard on the way, I think.
Griff was an ancient gold dragon, if I recall correctly. I didn't look through my notes, but I didn't really use a lot of dragons in dragon fights, but yes, he was a dragon.
Yeah, so with that, we're actually going to be talking about dragons this week in our Dungeon Masters week, our DM week. So, yeah, we're going to take a good in-depth look into Dungeons and Dragons. The second D in D&D.
But the dose D. The double D.
So, is there anything that you want to just say straight off the start about dragons?
All of you DMs out there. A dragon is a great way to challenge yourself and your party. Keep in mind, you could kill them with one breath weapon. And always buck tradition. If you want to have an evil metallic dragon, do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can really do whatever you want as a DM, and as long as you give your players a reason why, I think it's fine.
That's what I want to say. That's all I want to say right there.
I'd like to say that dragons are fun. You can do a lot of different things with them. They have a lot of different attributes and different traits depending on what you're looking for from a specific villain or good person. It could be an ally. So they're great. They're great to use, and they're a lot of fun once you get used to how the mechanics work. I actually did a little bit of research to learn more about how we as a human race became infatuated with dragons, because they are a mythical creature still. No one has actually seen a real dragon that we would consider a real dragon, other than those smaller kimono dragons and bearded dragons and stuff like that. They're terrifying, but they're not the 200-foot tall beasts that we see in fantasy lore.
Fair enough.
But it all started with snakes and serpents, different water serpents. They were always places that humanity wouldn't want to go to, so they were always up on high mountains and in marshy areas and forests and places that humans wouldn't want to inhabit. So that's why they're always considered probably snakes when it comes to lore about dragons. So they use those as most of their reasoning behind the lore and mythos. Norse mythology used snakes as their serpents. You can see the river Styx was had a snake in it that would go up below the boats and stuff. So that's where the dragons basically came from, and humans just have an innate fear of snakes. They polled 100 people, I read, and 38 of the 100 had an innate fear of snakes right away.
What was the number 2 answer?
They didn't. I didn't talk about that.
Ah, damn! I thought it was the Family Feud.
No,
Disco. Good.
So yeah, that's what we. That's where I got from my research. They also talked about like the luck dragons in China and Japan, the different dragons that they had. But the ones that really paved the way for D&D dragons would have been Tolkien's dragons from the books.
Smaug.
Yep, Smaug, and then also Game of Thrones. Those dragons, those books. So, and if you read any of the R.A. Salvatore books, there's a few dragons in those as well. But those are also based off of D&D dragons.
Yeah, I know. It's my dragon horde. See, look, it's like slowly overtakes me every time.
But now that so those are the dragons that you notice now mostly in fantasy. There is one dragon I'd love to talk about, and it's the one from Neverending Story.
Falcor.
Yeah.
What type of dragon was he?
He was a luck dragon, I believe.
There it is.
Yeah, he was based off of luck dragons.
Just so let's team up and steal Patch's goal while he's distracted by streaming. Yeah, no, trust me. I'm like a dragon when it comes to my goal.
Well, we'll be talking about what will happen when you get into his lair in a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what about you? Like, what kind of mythology do you like about dragons?
I like the fantasy aspect. Smaug is a perfect example. Like the character, and then the brilliant Benedict Cumberbatch, who voiced it fucking perfectly. In the mocap. Well, he also had Andy Serkis there to help. Dragonheart's also a very good example of a dragon. As much as I don't like that movie at all, it's a good example of dragons. If you're looking for like a non D&D style dragon, Godzilla is certainly a dragon.
Yep.
In that type of extent, Gamera, the turtle, would be considered a dragon in my book. Like big giant kaijus. That's really what dragons are to me. Is like, yes, let's fuck up a town with just a couple beats of a wing and a breath attack.
What did you play? The God of War, the newest one.
Dad of War? No, I did not.
Oh, well, there's a dragon in that one that it's like the
world serpent.
The world serpent, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another one of the Norse mythology type thing.
Yep.
So like and they would there was a dragon. Yeah, right. Well, what about what is it called? Can't remember now. Back Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh, Puff the Magic. Don't forget about Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon too, right? So there can be there is good dragons.
But the bad ones are so much better.
Yeah, it's true. They really do make dragons who they are. So now let's get into like the concept of dragons in Dungeons and Dragons. Let's
I will fuck your shit up.
All right, tell me about it.
That is so. If I am a chromatic dragon, which are the colored ones and not the metallic ones, I'm either a red, a white, a blue, a green, or a black dragon. And based upon that, depends on my personality because they're all different. White dragons are typically the hunters, and they're the quiet types, while red dragons are just the narcissistic Smaug that you see. But from what I read in the monster manual, black dragons are the ones you don't want to fuck with because those are the ones that are in swamps and they're just cruel and vile. they'll pretend like, oh no, I'm gonna let you escape, and then murder you. And they all praise her queen, their queen, Tiamat, Lord of Queen of Dragons, the 5-headed monstrous queen of all destroys. Words. I don't like Tiamat. One of the worst fights I've ever been in. Great concept for a baddie. But yes, white dragons are typically the hunters. Green dragons are like your predators in the forest. Blue dragons are trapsmiths, essentially, if I remember correctly. And I'm missing out one. The red dragons are mean. Will just burn down your country just to get servants. All right, I'm gonna burn down this village if you guys don't. I'm gonna. No, if I remember correctly, I read it. It was like, oh, it tries to get servants, and if it doesn't get servants, it destroys half the town, and then whatever's left can come serve it if it wants, or die again, or die trying. I love dragons.
Yeah, that's where I got most of the backstory for when you doing Baron Deer's thing. So I was like thinking of trying to do that as much as possible as a red dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're arrogant. Red dragons are arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that would collect all those goldy things that are behind you. Like they're real.
That's my trove. Yes.
Red dragons have the biggest desire to collect.
Mm-hmm. They also eat it, if I remember correctly.
If they want, I guess. Not really.
I know gold dragons do.
I know they lay in them.
Mm-hmm. Tinseldor.
Okay, so now we have the metallic dragons, which would be the bronze, copper, silver, gold, brass.
Yep. And they pray to Bahamut.
Yes, Bahamut is the platinum dragon, god of good dragons, basically. Paladin dragon, basically. And the gold ones are the more lawful good ones. They are the ones that you'd see that would do the best work.
I would say the gold dragons, from what I was looking at, they look kind of like luck dragons from like Chinese mythology, from like in the monster manual. And then the copper dragons are the ones that want to make you laugh or talk to you, and if you don't talk to it, it'll knock your ass out, and then it'll claw you until you tell it a story or something. I was reading that, I was like, oh, that's terrifying. If I don't talk to this person, they're going to knock me out with their sleep breath, and then I'm going to wake up, and there's just going to be this big, giant copper dragon waiting for me to tell it a story.
Yeah,
absolutely terrifying.
It says that the bronze dragons like to live on the coast and watch the ships sail, and they'll shapeshift into like dolphins or seals to swim next to the boats and stuff, like just because they're curious and enjoy like the. They'll be on the ship like as a bird or a rat, inspecting the hold for its treasure. If the dragon finds a worthy addition to its hoard, it barters with the ship's captain for the item. Like, that's so cool. That would be such an interesting like encounter to make as a DM, just to be like, oh, they're taking a ship to the other island to investigate something. They could encounter.
Copper dragon was the one that I was reading.
A bronze dragon that will barter with the captain over the goods that he's bringing while your party's on the boat.
Is that a fucking dragon? Oh yeah, he just comes by every now and then.
Oh yeah, that's just Johnny the dragon.
Yep, Johnny the bronze Johnny.
And then the copper are the inquisitive ones. They're like they act like young kids, right?
Yeah, it's either, I don't remember which one's which. I just recently read it, but they're typically the metallic ones are like very curious in nature, because they're the ones that can shape change, which is even more terrifying. Because then you could be dealing with, I don't know, like the small little house cat in an inn, and you piss off an innkeeper, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, that cat's now a dragon. Okay, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
I can't imagine there being much part of it. Basically, I have a dragon, give it to me in the cash house.
There's a couple of brass dragons, I think, in the R.A. Salvatore book that are friends with Jarlaxle. And they always turn into like really good looking like humanoid women and always like use their charm against him. Even though he can't be charmed because of all of his
nonsense,
magical nonsense that he has. And so like I listen to the book, so if you like listen to it, the way that they talk back and forth to each other is really like interesting to hear from a brass dragon, like who's generally a neutral good dragon.
Yeah.
But they really just want hoard stuff. They want to hoard their money.
Yep.
And then silver dragons, I would say, are probably the most virtuous. Like
they're also less friendly.
They're what? Less friendly?
Most.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they like to have like people as friends.
Yep. And they want to help small races. They want to help people, like groups of people, better themselves and make sure that they're protected. So they're like protector dragons. Mm-hmm. And they have respect for humanity, which is very nice to have for everybody, not just dragons.
Not just dragons.
And it says that they like to hoard historical items from humanity, from different races.
Mm-hmm. So they're the ones that have all kinds of art or like different types of coins. They're the coin collectors.
Yes. What about like a dragon turtle?
Oh, they're the best. They're the mercenary of the seas. They like to make friends with pirates. Is one of my favorite things I've read about dragon turtles. Simply because the pirates will give it money, and it will either help like let it get through the water. In Tomb of Annihilation, there's actually an encounter with Aramag, who is a gargantuan dragon turtle, and if you don't pay it 500 gold, it will knock the shit out of your boat. And then you guys get to swim to shore and then start from the shore and go through the jungle. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get them into the city and then see if they want to get on the boat. But dragon turtles are dope because it takes away like people's terrain. Either you're going to be on a boat or in its element, where you're not going to be the best.
Now,
it's also
how about what if like, I mean, they're neutral, so they don't have to necessarily be mean and bad. What if like a brass dragon who likes to cruise the coast sees some ships and then finds out that there's a dragon turtle that's out there bartering, and he's like, they're both pretty, like, aren't they both pretty smart?
Well, I mean, dragons are innately smart. Like typically.
So, like, would a brass dragon end up bartering with a dragon turtle for like?
We're the DM. That could happen.
That could happen. Just thinking of the fun stuff that you could really do with like the shoreline now at that point.
Because typically you don't see a lot of like water encounters because most races can't swim.
Right. I mean, they could swim. It's just not in the sense of like game mechanics.
I don't want to have to roll a dice to figure out if I could swim or not. There, Thundercat. That's where
you swim at half speed. For me, is all I think. You could roll better and swim at full speed.
I don't like that. Nope.
It's better than drowning.
Yep. That's why Baron Deer didn't get on that fucking boat.
So anything like any other dragons that? Oh, well, we got the shadow dragons too.
You got shadow dragons, and you also have Draco liches.
That's true. Undead dragons.
Yep.
Wizards. Undead dragon wizards.
Fairy dragons.
Fairy dragons.
Like pixie dragons, like the little pseudo dragons, essentially.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like a pseudo dragon in a suit of armor is.
What was the good drag? Like, it's not actually a dragon; it's a celestial.
Bahamut?
No,
Oh.
it's like a small thing that like it heals people and stuff.
A Naga?
Is it a Naga? It was I forget what it was. I think it's a celestial.
It starts with a Q.
Oh, yes.
Quetzal?
Quetzal. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, because Naga is the bad one.
Yes.
As if being a dragon is enough of a challenge, it has to be a lich on top of that. Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying, Fuzzrab. Absolutely terrifying. Oh, you killed it?
I can't wait to go through some of these enemies, these monsters. Just like going through the pictures, they're just going to be fun to do.
I can't wait for Mind Flayers. That's going to be the day. That's right, I'm going to shine.
That's what I'm going to shine. I don't know. Do I have a favorite? I don't think I have a favorite monster.
Top 3 tiers would be for me, for monsters, it would go Illithids, Beholders, Giants. I do like me a giant. Because, oh, you guys want to hide in a house? Nope.
Nope.
It's now a tin can that I've just opened, and you are the sardines. Nom 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 nom.
I like some of the weird stuff. Oh yeah,
Oozes are also fun too.
Yeah, or Rakshasa.
Rakshasas are the best, like BBEG, if you have no lawful good characters.
All right, so let's talk about some of these abilities that they have. As I guess we'll go through the colors.
All right.
Let's start with white. What does a white dragon do?
Well, they fly real fast. Like most chromatic dragons, they all have something called Frightful Presence, which it picks any number of people within 120 feet of them. And it has to make a save. I think it's a Wisdom save.
We're talking about an ancient white dragon, right?
Yeah, I'm going off with the big guys. The little guys get watered down.
Well then first before we get into colors
right.
And all that stuff, let's talk about how they progress in level.
So first, you got your good old Joey Wheeler, the BB Dragon, a Wormling.
A Wormling.
Then it goes. I think that's like 1 to 5, like years old, and then 5 to 100 is young, and then it goes from 100 to like 700 or 800 for the age for an adult dragon, which are the
100 to 800.
Okay, so it's 8. And that's what it's considered an adult, and anything past 800 years old is ancient.
And then the sizes are medium, large, huge, gargantuan.
Yeah, gargantuan is monstrous. That's like the size of like a 2-story building.
Yeah, like a
kaiju.
747.
Yeah, a jet.
Jumbo jet.
But that's your sizes. So typically, if they're a party of like 3 to 5, you could throw a young one at them and see where they fare. If you throw an adult one, I'd say maybe like 8 to 10, as that's your good number. And then if you want to see how fast your party will run, throw multiple dragons at them, like all the colors. Just unleash hell.
Mm-hmm.
But
see, when I had run my game, I had a whole other area set up that I was going to have you guys go through as like a dungeon before you got to Tiamat, where you could turn left and fight a red dragon. You could turn right, fight a green dragon. You could like slowly go through the whole place and fight all these different colored dragons that were protecting Tiamat.
Yeah, fuck that noise. I'm glad we did.
Instead, I gave you the fucked up room.
I like the fucked up room. But yeah, Frightful Presence is usually dragon's bread and butter, because then it'll get people to run away from it. But that's like a DC X Wisdom save, right? Wisdom.
Yeah, DC 16 Wisdom save for a white dragon.
Yeah, and then It can 4 attacks. It's a bite, claw, tail.
Let's see. Multi-attack. Rifle present. It then makes 3 attacks, 1 with its bite and 2 claws.
Okay, so it's bite, claw. So typically your dragons will be able to use their frightful presence and then bite and claw. And keep in mind, with dragons, they have reach. The bite has like 15 feet, while the claw has like 10. It's pretty mean, and the bite will always do the type of breath weapon damage.
Additional that.
Additionally, yeah. As well as the snap, and then it's cold.
Yep.
And then we get into my favorite thing about dragons: breath weapons. Mass area of damage.
So a white dragon has cold damage.
Yeah, a 90-foot cone.
Yep.
I didn't get that. No, thanks, Siri. A 90-foot cone of cold damage, and it's like a DC 20 Constitution saving throw.
22.
Or it's more. 22. Yeah. So if they don't save it, they take how much damage? It's something obscene. It's like 10d10.
72 damage or 16d8.
16d8 or 72. Good lord. And it scales appropriately for dragons. But you'll notice on your stat block there's a little thing that says recharge. They can't do it all the time. Thank the Lord.
About recharge.
So recharge is something that some monsters will do if they have a broken ability or a very, very, very powerful ability. You'll roll a d6, which is your Yahtzee dice. And if it says 6, if you roll a 6 on that dice, it recharges, and then you can do it again. If it doesn't, you don't have the ability to do it.
Well, it's a 5 or 6.
Right, so if you roll a 5 or a 6 for a dragon, then you can do it again.
Then you get to do the breath weapon again the next turn.
Mm-hmm. There's also a dirty DM trick that I've learned, and I like. It's something old school from, I think it's 3rd edition. Health gate it. Like, as soon as it gets to, like, X amount of health, it automatically recharges that breath weapon. Just give me a breath weapon, because I'm like at... Like, if I'm a red dragon, I have 500 hit points. Once I get down to that, like, that 200 point, I have my breath weapon back, no matter what.
Yeah,
But I have to roll again. Yeah. But breath weapons are... That's your TPK for a dragon. Like, if they're all frightened and running away and they're clumped up, you hit them with that breath weapon, see who survives, and then pick them off. It gets less at adult and less at young, because it's not as much damage, it's not as much range, and then they lose some of their speed. So I think
obviously they as they get older, they get more terrifying, and obviously, like, as you get higher in class and level, you're gonna be more terrifying too. So that's why they did this. So it's like you could put a young white dragon against the CR6. They're CR6, so 4 6th level characters, 4 5th level characters, and they'd have a really hard time against that. And then when they get to level like 12 or 11, you could have them go up against an adult white dragon, which is going to give them a hard time again. And like, so you can always have one that kind of goes with them as they level up. That's the nice thing.
That's dragons in a nutshell, and like your chromatic dragons in a nutshell. They'll all have the bite claw. Depending on what color they will, it will be the bite does this damage, and then it does X amount of fire or poison or acid or lightning or cold damage.
Yeah. So the red dragon does fire damage.
How much does it? Wait. Before we move on, how much does a red dragon fire breath do?
91 damage or 26 d6.
91 points of fire damage from an ancient red dragon. That is obscene. That's more than like 3 fireballs. No, that's little less than 3 fireballs.
A green dragon, ancient green dragon, does poison damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 77 poison damage. A blue dragon does lightning damage.
which is not fun.
And
At all.
it's 120-foot line, 10 feet wide, so it's 2 boxes wide.
Mhm.
And it's 88 lightning damage.
That's the difference too. When it comes down to like acid and poison and lightning and fire, certain dragons have a line as opposed to a breath, like a cone.
Yep.
Like the blue and I think it's the black dragon have the line.
Yep.
Yep.
Acid
It's
breath.
still mean.
67 damage. I think the blue and the black dragons are the two easier of the ones to fight.
Yeah, but if you look at their lair actions, they're kind of.
But that's the thing, is the layers are different, exactly. And speaking of which, that's my vocab this week. Layer actions.
Hi, Griff. So let's pick a dragon first.
Okay.
All right. Let's go with the blue dragon.
Okay.
What's gonna lead up to its lair? Its regional effects.
So each dragon has regional effects to them. So a blue dragon would make areas like desert-like, almost. The sand and whatnot would probably be turning to glass, as lightning strikes would just come out of the sky out of nowhere. It would be cloudy / foggy as well. So it's kind of weird that it's like a desert-like climate that has fog, because that means there's moisture somewhere. So they like to live underground. So they dig their lairs under the desert, basically, which is weird. They burrow. And their lair actions are: part of the ceiling collapses above one creature that the dragon can see within 120 feet of it. Or a cloud of sand swirls about in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point the dragon can see within 120 feet of it. Or lightning arcs forming a 5-foot wide line between two of the lair's solid surfaces that the dragon can see and must be within 120 feet of the dragon.
So let's start off. What's a lair action?
A lair action is something that happens at initiative 20 when you're in said dragon's lair.
Or in anything's lair.
In anything's lair, yeah. So you could be in a vampire's lair that has lair actions that he set up traps or something. Wizards would have probably lair actions as well, because they're smart and know how to set up stuff to help them if they're ever in need. But yeah, in dragons, they have their own lairs, and they do have lair action. And so those were some of the blue dragons' lair actions. Every dragon has their own lair actions.
Every dragon has their own regional effects. So, like,
yep.
If I remember correctly, the green dragon, one of its regional effects is all the water that runs through wherever it's living within X amount of miles becomes murky and like almost like bile looking. Or no, it's the acid one. It's the black dragon.
Yeah, that's the black dragon.
The green dragon, all the like rats and mice are innately connected to it and talk to the dragon.
Yeah, rodents and birds within 1 mile of the dragon's lair serve as the dragon's eyes and ears. Deer and other large game are strangely absent, hinting at presence of an unnaturally hungry predator. Within 1 mile of its lair, the dragon leaves no physical evidence of its passage unless it wishes to. Tracking it there is impossible except by magical means. In addition, it ignores movement impediments and damage from plants in this area that are neither magical nor creatures, including the thickets described above, because it makes thickets too, which is crazy.
Yep. It makes
labyrinth-like thickets, passages for you to go through that it like sets up for you to get stuck on and slow down your travel and then have a chance to swoop in and destroy you.
Uh-huh. Dragons are mean creatures. They're mean magical creatures, and as the older they get, the more powerful they get. And if it's always a challenge to a party whenever they see an ancient dragon, because it's like, all right, you say those 2 words, roll initiative, you never know what a player could come up with or what you can concoct because of a player's concoction.
Yeah, and like I said, those fun little things that like the lair actions can come in handy if you're having an issue. Keep it up with your players who are smart and better than you expected, or those lair actions you can kind of dumb down a little bit because you're not worried about it because you have an ancient dragon.
Now, let's say, because here's something that all dragons have. They have something called legendary actions and legendary resistances. So, let's say you have a mean, nasty spell casting dragon that you've made. And you've got a smart player who's been saving their feeble mind. And they decide to try and feeble mind the dragon. And you say, oh no, well, I rolled a 2, which would be like a 12, so that would fail. However, I decide to pass that using my legendary resistance because I'm a fucking dragon.
You get how many of those?
3 of them, depending on what dragon you are. If you're Tiamat, you get 5.
Yeah, well, you're also a god of dragon.
Yep. And then let's say the party is surrounding you, and they're hacking at your limbs, and you have something called a legendary action. That happens at the end of someone else's turn, much like a reaction for players, except the dragons typically have ones that are beat its wings and fly up half its movement speed. And see if
it
people
pushes the people away.
And then the other one, because that's 2 actions, you use a move to fly away.
Or there's a third one, and it's like I think it's a tail whip, right?
Yep.
Tail attack.
Tail attack.
So, you get a couple of actions as well after people's turns during
that
combat.
Was brilliant, Griff, what you did yesterday to climb inside of a monster and attack it from the inside. You were very Drax-like. It was awesome.
Until your DM says, "So sorry, you're suffocating. You can't move."
He's a turtle, so he's like, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to go inside of it.
That's fine.
And I went, all right, well,
you can't move your arms. You're stuck inside. You're inside your shell, just stuck now.
It was an elemental.
No, I just like messing with the players when they outthink me. I don't let them outthink me. All right, yeah. So, anything else that you want to talk about dragons? I'm on Kevin's side.
Remember to if you're playing a dragon and you're a very first time DM, study the stat block for like 2 weeks. Know the movements of your dragon. If it can climb, it can climb. If it can swim, it can swim. If it can hold its breath underwater, it can hold its breath underwater. Being that asshole dragon who hides in like a 60-foot deep pond and only pops his head out to acid breath you, and then goes under the water and waits for his shit to recharge is absolutely funny in my DM's mind. You would piss off so many players, but they'd start to get smart.
I'm sorry.
Shout out, Vandal. There you go.
I did that to you guys.
Yes. Remember that if a dragon's in its lair, it has lair actions if it's old enough. Keep that D6 handy to recharge. Like, dragon fights are meant to be challenging for you and a player. They're the be all end all of Dungeons and Dragons. You go through the dungeon, you find the dragon.
Remember that you could always the MacGuffin could always be where the dragon is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to go get this specific tool. A dragon has it in its hoard. It was stolen from the museum or the library back when it burnt down after the ancient red dragon destroyed the city and took the...
Or it was actually stolen from the dragon by the museum.
Yep, and the dragon went and got it back.
That's mine.
So now you need to go get it.
Exactly.
Because that's what you need for your task or whatever. And good luck.
Roll initiative.
But we're only level 10. Well, it looks like you're going to have to go do some side quests before you can figure out how to get to that.
Yep.
Unless you want to just go die. Good luck.
Or you can talk to the dragon.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe you have a piece of treasure that's more important to it than whatever it has.
Yeah, you better roll good at level 10 against the red dragon to persuade it.
If it's red dragon, I ain't going anywhere near that fucking mountain. First off, if you say a color and not a metal, I'm out. I'm done. I'll be like, wait, can I roll an Arcana check to see if I know anything about that? Oh, I got a 2. I'm in.
All right, we're gonna head to our break right now. We have one of our better supercuts that I put together. It is it's the whole entire Tony and Joe's saga. It shows the absolute height of their business and the absolute lows of their business as well. So I hope you enjoy what I put together, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Bye-bye.
That's your player tip for DM week. Bring them food. They'll be less apt to murder your character if you bring them snacks.
It's true.
Not me.
Most.
We're back for break. Hi, everybody.
We're back.
I was gonna say you can keep talking, eating your Blizzard. We're doing our past experiences, right? We're gonna talk about dragons in a game.
Go ahead. Talk about what you did in your games with Dragon.
Yeah. All right. Just let me know when you hit bottom. So, in the very few occurrences that I used dragons, I used a gold dragon as an NPC, which was kind of fun because it seemed very astute, and it was nice to play a dragon and not have them be an asshole. On the flip side, I ran 2 red dragon fights. One was Thembershoud, which was a big fat dragon who lived in Gracklestaff, and he was too fat to fly, which was absolutely funny and was just a prick. Giant red dragon prick. And I kept tempting and goading my players into pissing it off, and they didn't kill it. And then in the Tomb of Annihilation, I did Cinder, Cinder. One of them.
Cinder something.
Yeah, Cinder, whatever. That was an actual good dragon fight to run because it could fly. It wasn't. They were at the right level for it. I believe the only dragon fights that I've never really done that I've wanted to do are I want to run a Tiamat fight. So bad. So bad. And I'd love to throw like a multiple dragon fight. Like have like I'll have like a red and a white dragon just attack a town and see what the players do. Either get out of dodge or
fight back.
Yeah, like that'd be kind of cool. Like, because I remember hearing about the Chroma Conclave attack on Critical Role, and I was like, wait, he threw 5 Chromatic Dragons at him? 4. Okay, that's still nothing to scoff at. 4 ancient Chromatic Dragons.
Amazingly.
Yeah, it's amazing. But no, that's my dragon. I'm more of a Demon Lord DM or Beholder or Intellects.
Monstrosity
and abominations and things that speak deep. If it speaks deep, I would love to run that fight. Could you imagine like a Mind Flayer dragon?
Is this deep enough?
Yes, that is deep enough.
Is this deep enough for you, sir?
Oh yeah, it is.
That's too deep.
Let's see. For me, I ran Horde of the Dragon Queen, so I had to really use dragons the whole campaign. Otherwise, it would have been quite an awkward Horde of the Dragon Queen ending if you were all of a sudden like, hey, we're going to fight Tiamat after we fought all these other things that weren't dragons. So I had a lot of fun. A dragon with Ossie's voice charming you would be a cool idea.
That's what Fiverr money could go to. Someone tip us money so we can give Aussie money, and then I can just have him record like dragon talk over as he's like a red dragon who's just really, really happy. And then fire.
I mean, I'm sure he would do it. He would do it anyways.
Oh, I know he would.
So like I ran a blue dragon that had its own lair underground. They had to go find it, and they made it through underground through the tunnels, and then there was only one way in, one way out type deal. What's that?
We ran.
Yeah, because the dragon, the blue dragon, can burrow, so it doesn't need a lair necessarily. It could burrow through the ground and get out and leave and go somewhere else. And
Later.
so he set up his lair to be destroyed in case he ever got attacked and couldn't survive the attack. So, and what happened is they attacked the blue dragon looking for, they were looking for an ancient weapon, I think.
I think so.
I think that's what you were looking. You were looking for something to help you along the way in the storyline, and they get in there and they start. They were gonna win the fight, but throughout the fight, the dragon was slowly destroying its lair by taking out the columns, and they realized very late in the fight that the columns were what were holding the lair together, and so the ceiling starts collapsing full tilt on top of them, and they had to sprint down the tunnel that was the only way in and out.
Guiding boot.
They got lucky that they had a guiding boot, which is one of my fun. I didn't make it, but I stole it from something, and it's a great magic item. It's a ring of spell change, and you can change one. You can change any spell by one letter. So instead of guiding bolt, they casted guiding boot and changed the L to an O. And instead of running down the tunnel alone, they all got picked up in this like Mother Goose boot thing, and like went boom 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 down the tunnel.
Mario 3 and a little the wind up boot. That's what.
Yeah,
that's what
and they like flew down the tunnel a lot faster that way. And that's how they survived. But yeah, that was a fun one. I also did an ancient red dragon fight when you guys were at like level 8.
And we won.
Yeah, but that's because I dumped it down to a young red dragon / ancient red dragon. I just gave it like the lair actions and the legendary actions because young dragons don't get that.
Nope.
So that was okay. I didn't really like prepare for that one as much. I had the more of a regional effects happening there, where like the town all worshipped the red dragon because it let them survive there and live outside of the volcanic mountains that the dragon lived in. So they would all leave offerings at the bottom of the hill. And then I killed Barondir. Well, because Barondir, they beat the dragon and Barondir died.
Yep.
So
it's okay. Barondir still punched a dragon to death.
And then I ran Tiamat, which was a fun one. I ran the black dragon, which was the one spitting at you guys and then going back underwater. And then
that was in a dungeon. That was like a trap.
Yeah. That was right before Tiamat.
Yep.
And then I was going to have you fight a white dragon in there too, but you didn't have to. And then you also fought the white dragon in on the sky bridge, the sky castle.
Skyreach Castle.
Yeah, you fought a white dragon, but that was just a young dragon, I think.
Yeah. It's still. I mean, that's
still a white dragon.
It has climb. That's what threw me off. I was like, well, he didn't climb. This was also like your second dragon fight?
Yeah, it was my first real dragon fight, though. Yeah. And then we had the black dragon that flew away.
Yep.
That you saw on the scope that you fixed with mending. Your 30% chance of fixing.
I rolled a 97. Boom.
And then I ran a bunch of dragons, but I started slowly getting better at it as that campaign went on, because that was still my first real campaign DMing.
That's a hell of a campaign to start off with DMing too, because if you actually read, like, I assume, like, read most of Tiamat, Tyranny of Dragons.
Yep.
That book is garbage.
They both weren't that. The first one wasn't that good either.
I liked the first one.
It was good for railroading. It
was good for railroading and showed people how like an adventure should work.
Yeah.
But I also liked the very, very thing that you didn't do when I read that book. I went, oh wait, you throw a dragon fight at like level 2 characters? No fucking way. No, okay, all right.
I could have put that in there on that fucking when you get to that town. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh shit.
Nope. I
No.
just had it like going around the town blowing shit up and never fought you
Yeah.
guys.
That's crazy.
All right.
Damn Shazam. What up, Gilded?
Hi, Gilded. Creation Zone. What do you want to
Dragons.
do? Okay.
All right. So we are going to make a dragon.
What kind of dragon?
A good one.
Good dragon.
We're gonna have a good dragon.
What color?
I want to say bronze because they're on the coast. They're on the Sword Coast, right?
Yep. They could take a ship up to Candlekeep.
Yep, that makes sense because they went to Waterdeep. Last I recall.
Yeah, they're going to Waterdeep. Xanathar will send her to find a bronze dragon, or to find.
It's no Tia. Yeah, we could send it to the bronze dragon that lives behind the waterfall at this place. I can't think of a place. We're covering the parts of the map I need to see. Let's see. Yeah, because
I got my map right here.
I killed the dragon patch set adverse by a fear fluke. Yep. Sure did. Good old Fandelver. Yeah, bronze dragon, coast dwellers, aquatic plants, and fish. Those are creatures of interest. They're also fascinated by warfare.
It could be an Orlumber. Orlumber is a dock, a ship rights island, because that would be where a lot of people would be dropping their ships to get fixed. Who lives under the falls of Orlumber, a ship working island, which is still somewhat somewhere in the world in the game we're playing at the moment.
Fuck that goddamn quiver of wild magic.
Creating a dragon NPC, good dragon bronze, who lives under the falls of Orlumber, a ship working island. Intrigued by Carlin, decides to go with her.
Yeah. You want to go ahead, since it's a bronze dragon, you want to say it might have known some of her relatives? Like, not directly, like, older, like, not her grandma, but her grandma's grandma?
So, like so how old? Like 100 years? 100 years old? 200? Well, I'm going to say, gnomes can live long.
Yeah, so ancient.
So, okay. And knowing some of her old family.
Hey, it's Patrick fault. He taught me in the ways of chaos. Damn right. Yeah, let's do. Probably knows her great grandma.
An ancient dragon that wants to help her / get to know what's really pushing her.
There it is.
All right. Ancient. Her name. What's the her? She? A she?
It.
They.
Yep.
They. Okay.
Let's go. Hold on. Let's go to the RNG. Random name generator. Random bronze dragon name. Bronze dragon names from World of Warcraft. Dragon name.
Dragon names.
All right. Well, I don't want to have it be Kudon, Eater of All. Hey, Naruru? Hang on, no, I like this because it's Naruru the Gentle. Let me put it in the chat because like it's a nice looking name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. It is
Naruru?
Naruru, like Naruru,
Noraru.
Nararu. Okay,
Noararu. Noraru.
see, you knew if I were to just pick ones, I'd just be like it's Steve.
Noraru.
Ulroth. The calm.
Noaro. 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 This is going to be the rest of the podcast. Just me going, Noaro. John.
What is that? What is
Noaru. The Gentle.
the Gentile? Yes, Bill. Good old Bill. Bill the guard.
And okay, I like it.
No arrow.
No arrow. I like
No,
that
I like
one.
that.
No arrow.
All right.
All right, so dragon NPC, she's good, or they are a good dragon, bronze dragon who lives in the falls of Arlumber, a ship-working island. Intrigued by Carlin and knowing some of her old family, Ancient Dragon wants to help her / get to know what's really pushing her. They are Noraru the Gentle.
I like it.
How long is she going to stay with her?
Where are we going?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Well, it's a bronze dragon, so the coastal whoever.
They'd leave Waterdeep, head back to Candlekeep, maybe to go get Quintilian. Because that's where they left them, right? Yeah.
Do you want to have a? Because also blue dragons live on the coast too, not just the desert.
Well,
do you want to have Candlekeep get attacked by a blue dragon when they
For
pull
what
up?
reason?
I don't know, I'm a blue dragon. Fuck off. This is mine.
Sure. We can do that. No problem.
Maybe okay. All right, I got one better. A cultist member has the blue dragon mask.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Because drama and strife.
Exactly. Blue dragons are dicks.
All right. They go with to Candlekeep as it has been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Blue dragon.
Azan the Scary.
I don't care about the dragon right now.
All right, fair enough.
Uaru decides to stick with and help find the blue dragon. Bam, there's our reasoning.
Boom, there's a reason.
There's our story. All right, so our story time. The dragon decides to stay with her. We created the dragon. That's good. So Carlin's heading to Waterdeep with Quan and Throckmorton Dingleberry.
Oh, Dingleberry.
And they find out that they had to go find what at Candle? Oh, they need Quintilian and Jurgen to go find a MacGuffin, something they're looking for. And on the way back to Candlekeep, they take a boat and stop at Ore Lumber and meet Noaru.
Yep. Only to get back to Candlekeep to find out that it was attacked by a fucking blue dragon.
Done. There's our story. We're creating a pretty good story, I think.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to try to write it into an actual story.
Best of luck with that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ooh-ha.
All right, so that's it for that. What do we got going on next Tuesday? What are we doing?
We're talking about races.
Races.
We're going to talk about elves and halflings and tieflings and Aarakocra and turtles and what's another one? Ganassi? Genasi? I don't know how you pronounce it, but I pronounce it Ganassi.
Dwarfs?
Dwarfs? Yeah.
Humans?
Gnomes? Yeah, gnomes. Hard G.
Humans?
Yeah. We're going to break down races.
Yeah, we're going to try to do our best to put it all into an hour and get it as much information out as we can about races. All right. What about tomorrow? Anything going on tomorrow? No. Wednesday? No. I'll be streaming tomorrow night. But Thursday?
Maybe. We're playing console games.
Console games, baby permitting.
Yes, baby permitting.
Baby permitting. Not weather permitting, baby permitting.
Yes.
Friday, we have Tips Live.
Yes.
9:30?
Don't look at me. I don't know.
9:30-ish? 9:30-ish Friday night. We're going to do Tips Live. I might be a little late. I'm going to try to get home in time for it. And then Saturday, we have our team games.
Yes.
So we'll either play. We'll probably quack some games. We'll probably deep. We might even maybe shoot some things in Warzone because I think I'm having fun doing challenges. I think Patch will have fun with the challenges too.
That's a good thought. Patch
it was fun. It was fun the other night, Patch. We had to get each other's weapons. So like I had to like point out a weapon for Vandal. Vandal didn't land with us, so he couldn't pick up any weapons. I was like, dude, you should have landed with us so we could have picked the weapon for you to pick up. That was our challenge. You can't pick up your own weapon. Someone else has to point it out for you. So that would keep us together. Vandal didn't land with us. It was pretty funny. And then yeah, that's what we got. What do we got going on? Oh yeah, we have a Patreon now.
I'm still waiting for the OnlyFans.
I mean, you can set that one up. Vandal went to the marker. Yeah, see? Yeah, all those links are there on the Dysfunctional Gaming there, the link tree. Thank you, DD.
Clickety clack.
Yeah. Check us out if you want to help on the Patreon. We're still thinking of ideas for Patreon members. We had some talks today about some things. Maybe doing some behind the scenes D&D stuff for our Patreon members.
$30, Kevin Thundercat will send you a hat.
I have a bunch of them. I probably could.
Exactly.
I know Martin sells it for real cheap. We could make a business of that. You motherfucker. Zombopore Satfield. Possibly. We're gonna do some fun stuff. We'll have some good stuff on there, I'm sure. And maybe some behind the scenes. I have all of the outlines that we've done for the D&D podcast. I have all the outlines for Tips Lives, all the scripts. So that'd be cool. Maybe Patreon members be available to get to see the scripts that we've made for different things. And I could
always yell at him as Gilbert Godfrey or do him a voicemail as Ray.
We could do voicemails for you as Joe. I could be Joe and say, "Hi, you've reached Fuzzrab. That's right. This is Joseph. Leave a message. I think that's what he wants. I don't know. Maybe." But yeah, we have a Patreon. Clip that. That would be awesome. And then we get our shameless self promo. What do we got, Patch? Are you going to stream it all ever again?
I don't know. I stream when I want. Follow me on Twitter at GMPatchNasty.
I'm going to pull my subscription soon.
What, you got like 4 months left?
Yeah, I fucking subscribed for the 3-month one.
Why? You're a crazy person.
Well, it was
Like,
it was super cheap when I did it the first time. It was like $12 for 3 months. I'm like, yeah, I'll do this.
That's how Spectrum gets you.
Right?
No,
Exactly.
I'm kind of on a break because work, and dealing with people all day does not translate well into talking to people, because then I just want to bitch and piss and moan about my day, and I don't want to do that. So,
Some people like that.
Yeah, some people like that. I don't, and that's the big thing. I don't.
All right. Well, follow him on Twitter and go to our Discord to see him as well. He talks a lot of wrestling in there.
That's all I talk. I say hi and then wrestling. Hello, wrestling.
Fuzzrab, I get it, dude. I get it.
Well, fucking people suck. Wear a mask. Wear a mask so I don't have to
I
look
get
at you
it,
like
Fuzzrab, I get it. He'll be on tomorrow on the DG account, hopefully with Thursday with the DG account with Vandal, hopefully.
I was like, what fucking day is it? It's not Wednesday.
I always forget what day it is. Doesn't matter. I am Thundercat0420. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter as well. Go to our Discord if you want to know more about me. You can see some Smooches photos.
And if you're not in the Discord, hit the ! Discord button.
Wee.
Audio listeners, sorry.
Audio listeners, come find us later.
Click the link on our Twitter.
Yes. Go to Twitter. Go to YouTube. Do YouTube too. We'll do YouTube as well. We want that as well. Also on !links. Do that one. Yeah, go to the links. Woo. All right. Let's raid.
Where are we going? Yeah, where are we going?
Raid.
Raid.
Let's look up someone. Thanks, DD. Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh crap. Where are we going? What are we doing?
I'm looking for someone that's streaming. D&D podcast listen party. Oh gosh. Realms and Nerds will be starting soon. Not started yet.
Wow. Playing Donkey Kong Country.
Anyone love my boys? Griff Kane, thanks for hanging out, bud.
Anytime, man.
Fucking commercials. Did you find anyone?
I didn't realize I was looking. Hang on.
I want to pick someone new.
The Bubber Nut.
Oh, this guy's stream starting in 30 seconds. Great.
I don't even know if he's streaming. Hold on a second here. Bam. Bam. That one.
Okay.
He's having a whine about... I don't know what he's talking to stuff. His chat's going off.
That's not how you spell raid.
Nope.
All right, we're going to go to the end screen. You know what that means.
Sing Dance Monkey. We were talking about them dragons, but now we're all done. Thanks for coming out, and I hope you had some fun. We'll be back next week talking about the elves. Boodly doo boo doo. No, there was none in Toy Story.
Toy Story.
But then it's talking about halflings, and there are some short people. Short people ain't got no reason to live.